Good day, viewers. My name is Jemima Ndebele, and you are watching Careers Bistro, where we supplement your favorite career-oriented publication called Careers Hub every Friday. We have an exciting episode for you this week with a guest that will be joining us in studio, but please do stay tuned. As you can see, viewers, I'm joined in studio by the lovely, the beautiful, and the brilliant Hilma Petrus. Hi, Hilma, how are you?
Hi, Jemima. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, for our viewers, if you go check out our publication, Careers Hub, you will see that Hilma is then mentioned as the artist manager for Gandu Events, which is our local profile for the week. So Hilma will be in studio and she will give us like a brief overview of what exactly Gandu Events is and why we have chosen them as our local profile, because of the influence and the impact that they have made in the Kavango regions. So Hilma, let's start by telling us, when Gandu Events was then established.
So Gandu Events was established in 2018, just towards the end of the year. And then our first calendar event, which then aims to promote, produce and create networks for entrepreneurs and creatives within the Kavango region, was inaugurated in 2019 at the Rundu Stadium by a group of vibrant young people with different expertise, passionate about uplifting the lives of the Kavango people. And the idea is basically to come up with an initiative that would build a socio-economic, that would have socio-economic impact within the region. And also just to make sure that creatives and entrepreneurs within the region continue to practice and master their craft.
Wow. So it's really like making sure, and I read the article and I mentioned that, I see that you mentioned to Careers that you are trying to make people aware that Rundu or the Kavango region as a whole is a one-stop shop for anything related to creativity.
It's a one-stop shop. There's so much talent within the Kavango region, which is why Gandu Events is trying to implement these initiatives that really aim to boost the talents of the individuals. And within that, under the Gandu Events, we have two brands, which is Rock the Boat and we have Social Cafe in Gandu Festival.
Yes.
And under that, we have the recently launched Social Cafe.
Yes.
All of which aim to really just make sure that the creatives showcase their talents. And obviously on Rock the Boat, which was birthed in 2020. Just when we hit COVID, because we had just launched the 2020 Gandu Festival, and then COVID hit. Then we went on strict lockdown.
Sure.
So we said to ourselves, how can we still promote the brand?
Yeah.
How do we make sure that we keep the momentum and make sure that it's alive during the pandemic? Because we really didn't know how long it was going to be around for. So then Rock the Boat came about, an innovative initiative with where recording artists are on a floating boat in the Kavango River, which then places the Kavango region's east and west as the ideal tourist destination because it's beautiful. And we intentionally do record around sunset on those sets, just because the scene and the view
and
is
the
beautiful.
sun setting on the water, I can
It's
imagine.
beautiful.
Because I think what a creative way to really keep a brand alive. I mean, most people would see that as, trying to put the brand on life support during COVID, but then it really turned out to birth such a beautiful thing, Mejan, a floating stage.
A floating stage. And on that floating stage, we've had 16 artists. So we finalized the first season, and we're busy with second season. So you have emerging artists, legendary artists, such as Capital K. We've had the showstopper and phenomenal Sally Boss Madame. We've had talented artists from the Kavango region, MIG, TKB, MG, you name them. they've been phenomenal. And this is Rock the Boat is the heart of Gandu events, because it's our social impact. We are giving back to the community, we're uplifting, we're making sure they practice, and really just trying to drift away from the backtracking performances and having a live band. Now imagine in the middle of the river and we're recording, you have videographers and photographers that are recording and a live band.
Wow.
So there's a lot of work that goes within that, and it's all made possible by young people and makeup artists from the Kavango region, designers. All those costumes that you've been seeing on Gandu TV on YouTube are made by the local Namibian designers.
Imagine. So everything related to Rock the Boat and making it and putting it out there is then in-sourced from the Kavango region.
Yes. Correct.
Wow.
And obviously with that, we then decided, this year the COVID-19 restrictions on gatherings was relaxed a bit. And then we thought, how do we still, get back into the event space? So we had a scale down of the Gandu Festival, the recently held social cafe, which was really well received. An intimate event that promotes networking, live everything, from live painting competitions on stage while a DJ plays on set live. We were honored when that scene came on board, DJ Nino with the live band were playing while the the visual artists were doing their thing. We had the live traditional dance by the local Gandu Group. We have traditional Kavango cuisine experience. It was live everything, really. And that's what we want to go for, live performances. Sally had a live performance. So as you enjoy the traditional cuisine or the modern food by Bizbrai or any of the local chefs from the Kavango region, and enjoy a cold beverage, whether from one of our sponsors, Jägermeister, Coca-Cola, or Windhoek Draft, on the background, you hear the DJs, such as the DJ Shozas and DJ Albers and DJ Beggar. DJ Beggar is from the Kavango region, who was our anchor DJ, playing on the background, and you just network. We had HT Art, one of the most talented visual artists, showcasing his portraits. If you wanted furniture made from the Kavango region, we still had exhibitors on board. So it's bringing everything together on a small scale, but really just creating the ultimate Kavango experience. And that's what we're all about. That is our ethos, to say we're creating the ultimate Kavango experience. So if you want to go to Kavango, Gandu events will give you the ultimate Kavango experience, while still really just promoting and creating networks for individuals to make sure that they expand their product offerings.
Wow, that's brilliant. I must say that is so important, because I read in the article that according to statistics that it is then ranked as one of the poorest regions in the country.
Correct.
So I think it's so important that a region that is filled with creative, ranging from craftsmen that you see to musicians such as TKB, as you mentioned, it's so important that these platforms are created for them. But what would you then like to leave our viewers with, from Gandu's side?
So Gandu is really just about uplifting the lives of the Kavango people, and hopefully seeing those statistics that we see in the NSI report decrease per day. And we're really urging the corporates to come on board to partner with us and make sure that we continue to give creatives an opportunity to showcase, promote, and produce their quality product offerings. And make sure that at some point they are compensated for their services. And to individuals and community members, thank you for supporting us. We'd like you to continue supporting us. Just a hint, we are planning on organizing another social cafe with more talent still live. And this is where we really need corporates to also come on board to make sure that the live painting competition for the visual artist is well supported, because we did offer prizes for the winners. And then also for a creative summit, I leave it there. So if anybody really wants to come on board, whether you are a visual artist or any creative, you can email us on gandufestival@gmail.com. We'll definitely see how we can assist you.
Great. And where can our viewers then find you on your social media platforms?
So on YouTube, we have Gandu TV. That's where you find all things Rock the Boat.
Yes.
All the episodes, you can go watch there. On Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, we have Gandu Festival. You can find us there. Alternatively, if you really want to work with us, you can send us an email.
There you have it, guys. The Gandu Group is one to be on the lookout for. They're rising and they're continually empowering the Namibian nation, particularly the northeastern parts of the country. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our interview today with Hilma, but please do stay tuned as we continue looking at more stuff on Careers Bistro. Now, viewers, for some career motivation, which we all need after a long week, we got you nothing but the best from Namibia Breweries Limited. We have Julian Baheva, who is the long-serving employee from Namibia Breweries Limited. So let's take a look at what she has to say.
Ami Juliana Gahumbaeva, Biungura Pembiela, Baungura Ponguro Meroita to Namba, Mboko Manguri Angela, Omahina Wiki Tatra, Unjomahina Yompira, Okuno and Ashobira Mapeta here Putuk, Imu Longandozo, there was there on a movie. Onguatera, Shinokakapi, Opepa, Wasuga, Wanguro Broidi, Opomba, Opube Monchi. Mapeta shiva kutuka kwisako kalukutu opomba opube minamba mwacho maina bawe isakere.
Now for our news segment, we have something on a more positive note as B2 Gold sponsored 200,000 to a COVID vaccination center in Otavi.
The vaccination center, and sitting and thinking back that, you know, it was mere 2 years ago that COVID made its entry into society. And if you think back when COVID was announced, a lot of people didn't believe it. They said, it's a myth, it's just a flu, a very severe case of the flu, and very few people want to pay attention to it. And as time went by, it got closer and closer to everybody. And as it got closer to the persons who you cared for, you started believing in COVID. You started taking the actions to prevent it. And so time has passed and a vaccination was developed, and very similar with the vaccinations. Excuse me. Very similar to vaccinations. When the vaccinations entered the market, people said, no, it won't help, it's a myth, and just did not want to go. But as time went by, people started to believe in the vaccinations. And it was on that premise that vaccination centers were established. And a bit of background to this vaccination center, and I'm just taking a step back to last year around about this time. When B2 Gold started talking about setting up or assisting the Otavi Town Council with getting a vaccination centre set up here, we first had a look at 2 houses, but the houses were a bit too far out of town. And it was a problem getting the vaccinations there, people had to travel, so it was inconvenient. And we all know life is about convenience at times. And it was on that premise that we decided to donate this prefab building and set up a vaccination centre in the heart of the town, where people can come. It's easier for people to get to, it's easier for the nurses to get to, and as well as the vaccinations. So we all encourage people to go for the vaccinations. And because it's convenient, we're hoping people will now come here. We've seen it in Otjiwarongo, Their vaccination centre is in the town, and people line up to go there for vaccinations. We set up a vaccination centre on the mine, and since we've set it up, a lot of people have gone for their vaccinations, and it's because it's right there. So hopefully the word will spread, and people will start using the vaccination centre, and it's on that I'd like to hand it over, and thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, nothing is more important to our council than to bring services to the masses, to our people. That is what we have pledged, and we have committed ourselves to bring services to our people. The inauguration of this center establishes a strategic partnership between the Council, Bito called Namibia, Ojosantuba Regional Council, Otavi Constituency, and the Ministry of Health and Social Services, just to mention but a few. My sincere thanks goes to the Namibian government and Bito Gold Namibia, in particular for its steadfast, continuous support in this important endeavor, and we look forward to a long and fruitful partnership. Community development is when community members take ownership of their challenges, and then they hold hands and they look for solutions of how to address these challenges. When we, as different stakeholders and as a community, come together and hold hands to look for solutions for our community, that's where our community will be developed.
Good morning and welcome to the second annual Virtual Career Expo. All my law lovers, How to Get Away with Murder, Suits. We have a lawyer right here in the building, Nicole Kloppers. Good morning.
I could train up to 40 people, including groups and so forth.
In the product, what is it that is in the food? You also have nutritionists who may need to ensure that the quality is of a good quality for human consumption.
So we are trained on the science of nutrition, and we counsel patients on an individual basis.
I am doing that over and above, but it's also quite nice to not just be sitting back and doing that. It's nice to still be able to get to compile bulletins, to get to present bulletins.
I was still in university and this sounded like something out of like Carte Blanche or something.
In the pamphlet I saw digital marketing there and I thought it sounded extremely interesting.
I wanted to study and what career paths I found interesting, and in the end I decided on studying communications.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It doesn't mean that if you didn't join the live that it's gone. It's not gone. It's gonna be there.
It's gonna be on our Facebook page.
Yeah, it's gonna be on our
Spot it all
Facebook
again,
page.
you know. Sadly, viewers, we've come to the end of this week's episode of Careers Bistro. Please do make sure to join us next week as we take a look at various company profiles, local profiles, and all things company and career related to in and around Namibia. My name is Jemima Ndebele, and I'll see you again next week, same time, same place.